Hi, I'm Jennifer Jenkins-Boitnott. I'm a licensed professional counselor in Virginia and an EMDRIA certified EMDR therapist and approved consultant. I specialize in providing EMDR therapy in an intensive format. EMDR therapy, which stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing Therapy. It's a very effective and powerful method of therapy that allows people to heal from past traumas and other distressing experiences. It can really be used to address not just trauma, but almost any issue or problem that someone is facing. And instead of talking in depth over and over again about the problem and trying to come up with these like cognitive solutions of how to change it or how to fix it, what we do is we focus on the emotions and the thoughts and the beliefs that are stuck, connected to the trauma or the distressing experience. And we use tools of EMDR therapy to allow that to shift, to unstick and to release whatever is stuck. And then when we do that, we're able to allow the brain to do what it naturally does on its own and integrate those experiences in an adaptive way. And so that it goes from something that is really continuing to cause problems, that's stuck, that's coming up over and over again, that's impeding your ability to move forward. And it allows us not to get rid of the experience, not to change if it was a bad thing that happened to you, but just to shift into a more adaptive and forward thinking way without having that distress and that activation that happens when something is stuck. So many times I hear people explain when they're talking about an experience that they've gone through that, like, I understand that this isn't my fault or that I did everything I can do, but it just doesn't feel like that's true. And what is stuck in the emotion and the body and the brain that makes it feel like that cognitive statement isn't true, that's what we're focusing on. And when we can release that, then we can shift into something much more adaptive and helpful that allows the person to say, wow, this was a thing that happened and it is in the past. And this is what I need going forward to be able to continue to live my life. So it's really amazing process to see all of that shift and happen. And so while EMDR can be done absolutely in the traditional 1 hour therapy model, what I do in the intensive model is we focus on one specific problem at a time. And then we dive into that healing process with EMDR in a longer session. And so my sessions are 3 hours long. And when we have all this extra time, it allows us to really focus on what it is that the problem is that we want to address. It allows us to bring up all of that distress, all that stuff that's stuck, all of the emotion, all of the thoughts. It allows us to bring all of that up and to release it and to do it all in this one nice clean swoop. Whereas in the typical 1 hour therapy model, we're diving in a little bit, we're opening it up, we're bringing it up a little bit, maybe getting some relief before we have to shut it down. And then we're doing that week after week. We're bringing it up, making a little bit of progress, close it down, bring a little bit of progress, close it down until we get all the way through it. And when we can have the space to dive into whatever it is we're focusing on with 3 hours of time, it allows the brain to make those connections and to make all of those releases and shifts happen so much more quickly and all in one day. And so sometimes we don't get all the way through everything in one 3 hour session. We might need 2 or 3 or 4 of them, but regardless of how far we get in the 1 3-hour session, you're going to feel so much more relief after the end of those 3 hours than you would if we were only focusing on it for 1 hour at a time. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit my webpage and to listen to this video. If you would like to learn more about what it's like to go through an EMDR intensive program with me, you can click the link below. There's another video that I go into more in depth into what that experience is like, what my process looks like. And there's also you'll also find a link to fill out the screening form and take the next steps if you decide that EMDR intensives are something that you would like to sign up for.